Are you a Black woman reconnecting with your intuition? Are you having difficulty maybe understanding what your intuition is and how it feels? If so, this is a conversation for you. My name is Marissa Price. I'm a Black woman social worker, healer, educator, sharing my journey of healing from multiple different things authentically, and bringing other Black women on to share their resources, things that they have learned along the way so that we can all collectively heal. And please subscribe to my channel. Please like this video and comment down below if anything resonates. I do see Temple is here. Hey, Temple. Good to see you. Hello, beautiful Tia, Marissa. Yes, yes. Wonderful. So yes, intuition. Intuition. Okay, just want to make sure. I'll pass it over to Atiya to introduce herself.
Oh, hi, everyone. My name is Atiya. I'm a wellness practitioner and an intuitive guide. I help Black women over 40 make difficult life decisions and reconnect with their inner wisdom by using astrology and meditation techniques and shadow work and things like that.
I love that.
And
I
thanks
love
for
that.
having me.
See, absolutely. I'm excited about this conversation. Yes. Yvonne says, evening, ladies, evening. Good to see you here. Yeah. So I do want to ask you before we get started just about your YouTube channel, just the
Mhm.
process of creating that and the audience that you hope to attract with the content you create.
So again, hope to attract women over 40 that are just looking
Hmm.
for guidance to reconnect with their intuition. A lot of times we kind of go off course and we just need
Hmm.
some way just to come back to who we were. And, I'm just hoping to attract that audience. I did a rebranding, so that's where I
I
am
love.
now. Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that because it was wisdom and color coaching, and now
Yes.
it's
Yes.
Black
Yes.
Bohemian
Yes.
Soul. I love that. I love
Yes.
that.
Yeah. I did
Yeah.
some, inner work and just digging deep. And, I wanted to
Hmm.
share a side of me that a lot of people don't know about. So,
I love that. I
mhm.
love that. Yeah. And I think when you have those moments of just reflection and allowing yourself to sit, it's like the messages
Mhm.
come through of the ways to transform or like take on something new that feels more aligned. So I love that.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. And I see Iabode is here. Good evening. Always good to see you here. Hey, Sade. Good to see you here. I do want to ask just intuition. We hear this word floating around all the time.
Mhm.
Connect with your intuition, like reestablish stuff with your intuition. I would like to ask, as an intuitive guide, how you would define intuition in your own words.
So I would just define it as a deep knowing and just trusting
Mm-hmm.
yourself and that gut feeling that we get, just going with that and trusting that that's the right path that you're going on, when you feel
Mm-hmm.
that, when you get those tingles, giving you a heads up, that's your intuition.
Right. And those
I'm
tingles
have
are,
I'm have a
yeah.
cat making an appearance here. Sorry. So sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. And yeah, just about like tingles. Like this is something I have felt for so long, and I didn't know that it was my intuition. Just working with a spiritual life coach, Coach Yolanda on YouTube, to like tell me that all this time that was my intuition, right? Because I've always had like when I listen to certain songs, when I get like a certain feeling come over me, that is like
Hmm.
my intuition. So just hearing you say tingles, I feel like a lot of us may feel these things and not be able to attach it to this is like divine guidance. So being able to sit
Exactly.
with that, I love that. Those tingles.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Yep. Just trusting that feeling and going with
Mm-hmm.
it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I feel like a lot of us may have spiritual gifts as well. And I do want to ask,
Mhm.
oh, I see Temple says you can't. Okay, let us know if you can still hear us. Hopefully you can. Um, but let us know. Um, but yeah, a lot of us may have spiritual gifts that we may not even know. And I feel like one of those is connecting with intuition. So I
Mhm.
do want to ask, just like in the work that you do, how you're able to like bring these things out. and make people aware that no, you're not alone this entire time. You're actually being guided along your journey.
I think it takes practice just knowing what that feeling is. Because a lot of times you can't identify, like you said, you can't identify that feeling. So just taking note of, when you get that gut feeling, that's one
Hmm.
way. For me, it was meditating and journaling, something that I never done in the past because, years ago I didn't know either. I didn't know it was my intuition trying to tell me things. But once I started meditating and
Hmm.
journaling, it kind of gave me confirmation and, yeah,
Hmm.
just going with that feeling. So,
Yeah, I think that's been huge for me too. Just having a practice of stillness, because being in the environments that we're in
hmm
all the time is very fast paced. I feel like I've been in survival mode for so long, just realizing that. And in those modes, we don't really have time to like sit and like hear the messages that are like trying to be sent to us. So having that practice of
exactly.
meditation, as you mentioned, stillness, inviting like quiet in and being okay with
hmm
that. I think that's, yeah,
exactly.
that's pivotal.
And
I
then
see a comment.
journaling, when you get that
Yeah.
feeling, just writing it
Mhm.
down and, going back and looking at it, it's like, I was right when I got this feeling, that this is what was going to happen. So,
Mhm. Mhm. That's key. That's key in having that documentation for yourself that you can refer back to as
hmm
like time progresses and you realize, okay, that feeling that I had like a year ago that told me not to do this, and I kind of push past it because that's how we're socialized a lot, to like disregard our intuition. Now you have the proof to look back and be like, okay, that was something that was trying to be like sent to me, and now I have the
exactly.
information to heed it later on. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And if you take it a step further, you start documenting the dreams that you have. That's kind of when you get
Mm.
into, I guess you would say a spiritual gift, because I think intuition is just something that we all have.
Right.
That's something that we all have. We just have to work on paying attention to it, but like your dreams and dream journaling, you take that a step further and it'll kind of, give you some insight into things that I hate to say predict, but you predict some things, So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I do want to talk about that a little bit more. I do want to read a comment from Ayabode says, we're conditioned to not trust the feeling. Yes,
hmm
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially
Mm-hmm.
women, especially
Mm-hmm.
women.
Mm-hmm.
We're conditioned not to take it seriously.
Yep. That's very true. Yeah. I mean, just living under like a patriarchal system
Mm,
of us being told that our emotions, our feelings are invalid, are
exactly.
silly, right? When these are
Exactly.
really powerful gifts that we have, that we possess, that we come here with. And along the way of our lives, we're taught
Exactly.
to, like Ibo says, like to not trust these inherent things that we have.
hmm
Hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Trying to use logic to explain it, you know.
Hmm. Yeah. Logic. Ooh.
hmm
I do want to talk a little bit more
hmm
about the power of journaling your dreams, because that's not something I've done before, but I'm interested in it. If you could
hmm
share just a little bit about that practice.
So, just whenever you have a dream that kind of stood out to you, just
Hmm.
write it down. Especially if it's something that you just can't forget. Like throughout the day, you had this dream, and you're like, I can't understand why I had this dream. Just start writing it down, and then later you'll see if anything in that dream, you know, uh, kind of happened. So
Mm, I love
yeah.
that. I love
hmm
that. And Ayabod says meditation and journaling were a part of my inner journey as well. That still small voice speaks in silence. It does.
Yeah.
It
Yep.
really does. And the thing is, like, you have to get quiet to hear it, right? I
hmm
think I wrote about that in my book of affirmations. I can't remember the exact thing, but like the answers will come to you when you
hmm
allow silence to sit, when you allow yourself to sit in that.
Yeah.
Um, And it's amazing, like the overstimulating environments that a lot of us are on, especially with social media, that kind of blocks
Yes.
the pathway, right, to be able to receive those
Yeah.
messages.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. I have to actually make myself take a break just from scrolling and looking like, you know what? Can't do it because I did kind of notice that it was kind of interfering at one point, not too much, but I noticed I was spending more time on social media, than normal because I
Mm-hmm.
was a person that was never into social media at all. Like I wouldn't, I had the account, but I never really engaged
Yeah.
on social media. And, since finding this new path that I'm taking, I've found myself on social media a lot. So now I have to kind of force myself, like, you know what, I'm not going to go on 2, 3 times a week and just spend that time reflecting, just to stay connected.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that's a good point. As an entrepreneur, myself
Mhm.
having to set those limits, because it can very easily be like you said, scrolling endlessly. And these apps are set
Yeah.
up to like tell our brains to do this, because we get a
Yeah.
dopamine rush when we scroll and like, and we see someone else like our things, and it's really staying connected to source. I feel like that has been
Mhm.
pivotal in setting those boundaries with social media to be able to still maintain that connection with my intuition. Hmm.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I see. Yeah. I see a comment from Yvonne saying shadow work or free write journaling are definitely manifestation tools. Yes.
Hmm.
Hmm. And do you want to share anything
Yes.
about shadow work?
Yeah, I was about to say that. That's actually something that I don't know. I think once I got older, I realized that there was certain themes that just kept happening in my life. And I mean, to be honest, shadow work is an ongoing process. It's not something that you do once and you're cured. It's kind of excavating throughout your life and staying
Hmm.
on top of it. Confronting uh, those wounds because you talk about it a lot too. Just trying to heal from past wounds and just see where certain behaviors come from. The shadow work helps with that. So
Mm. Hmm. Yeah, and I think I've been doing like a variation of that and not knowing that it was shadow work, but really
mhm.
revisiting your past. Something I've been doing
Yeah,
is like telling myself my own story. Because a lot of
yeah,
the times when we're adults, we can kind of like cut off everything that happened to us prior to like this arbitrary age of 18, when really that's the stuff that's like informing our interactions, our relationships in
exactly,
adulthood. So that's so pivotal. Hmm.
exactly. Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
It's those little things like you don't know why you take offense to certain things, and it could be something that happened when you were younger, or like triggers and something that's triggering you, and you're like, I don't know why is this triggering me, and like you say, you just go back into the past and kind of go either try to heal from it or just say, you know what, this is how it's going to be for me, and integrate it into who you are and just go forward with life. But I think it's an important thing to do in
Hmm.
order to keep going forward.
I agree. I agree. And Shanna says, I think I need to delve more into shadow work. Yeah. Yeah. That can be powerful. Hmm.
Yeah. Yes.
And Yvonne says, I keep a notebook by my bed. Yeah. So I can capture the messages as soon as I wake up when they're vivid. Yeah. That's what my notes app
Yeah.
is for.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, mine too. Mine too. And it's crazy because it'll happen like 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning. And I'm like, oh gosh, like, you get up to get some water or use the restroom, and then it's like you can't go back to sleep. And then next thing you know, you're on your notepad. I used to keep a notebook, but now it's the notepad. So,
Yeah. Yeah, that can be a tool to reconnect if you're
mhm.
having trouble as soon as
Yeah.
you wake up, right? What did you dream about?
Yeah.
And just
Yeah.
keeping a log of
Yeah.
that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Your dreams to tell you a lot.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah.
I feel like I need to write that down. Yeah. And I feel like just being socialized in Western societies a lot, the
Mhm.
importance of dreams is kind of like, again, they're told to us as like silly, like even the dream interpretation, like if you tell someone about it, right, there may be a reaction like, oh, that doesn't even matter. But these are really
Yeah.
like important things in guiding posts throughout
Hmm.
our lives. I guess I just have a question around like, how did you begin to tap into the power of that with all the messaging that we see around? This is silly. This is unimportant. Under the
Hmm.
patriarchy, this is like, right. This is what women do.
Hmm.
That's what we hear a lot. How did you like really
Yeah.
tap into the power of that and resist that messaging that we hear so often?
I think it came mostly from just not like just listening to what other people say and tell me and going against what I knew, was the
Mm,
right thing or what I knew my intuition was trying to tell me. But, okay, fine, it's silly. And then later coming to the revelation of this is exactly what happened. And this is why I should have listened to myself in the beginning. So that happening over and over and over and over again, I realized, you know what? It's me. It's in me, you know. I know what's
mm,
best for me. I know that I'm getting these messages or these feelings for a reason, and I'm just gonna go with it. And once I started doing that, I feel like my life has just been just a lot easier. Not listening to what everyone else had to say.
yeah.
Hmm.
Mm, that's powerful.
So
Yeah, that
yeah,
brings up a lot of things because like you said, when we know something, we feel it so viscerally, but then we have other people around us like questioning, doubting what we feel, so we start to do it to
hmm,
ourselves. Like maybe this
exactly,
is silly, maybe
doubting.
I'm making this up. Until you live a little bit longer and then you see what that feeling was and it's justified. And so you have the
Yeah,
proof that it's something deeper. Mm-hmm.
exactly. Yep, exactly.
Yeah. And I see a comment from Yvonne. Right, Marissa, dreams connect us to our subconscious minds, the intuition. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm, the
It is.
subconscious.
Yeah. And it is a
It
lifelong
is
process.
definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, it is.
Yeah. And like the unlearning that is required to be able to tap into, like you said at the beginning, those whispers that we
Mm-hmm.
hear. It's like that sometimes that takes a long time to be able to take that off and really like reconnect with what was there the entire time, because we've been told to like take on layers, to question, to doubt what we're feeling. And so for someone who's like just beginning this process of tapping back into their intuition, like what would be the first step? I know you talked about like dream journaling. Are there any other
Yeah.
things? Mm-hmm.
Again, that quiet time, meditating, just spending more quiet time with yourself, and just paying attention to like just small everyday choices. You know, that's basically where we begin. For example, I don't know, say, oh, I shouldn't have bought those shoes or something. I don't know. And then later you find out there's a reason you shouldn't have bought the shoes. Just paying attention to small details throughout the day, or just the choices that you make. That's another way. But I really stand firmly by meditating and spending quiet time because I do that often. That's something that I feel like as an introvert I have to do. And yeah, I really stand firm behind meditating and quiet time and paying attention to the small things, just the small choices you make, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
That's powerful. Yeah, that the first
yeah,
step to healing is often awareness, being
yeah.
aware of what's happening day to day, the signs and messages that you're receiving that you may not even be clued into. And I think that's why, like you mentioned, journaling, I keep a running notes app right throughout the day of things that I
Yeah.
notice, feelings that I get, and just like keeping those for myself so I can refer back as I live
Mhm.
and I see like something pop up that, because that often happens for me, it'll be like aligned. right? Something that I saw
Yeah.
like a few weeks back, and I'll see something else that reminds me of that.
Yeah.
And so by keeping,
Exactly.
yeah, keeping
That
that tally,
alignment.
it's like, you can keep note of that and realize that these
Hmm.
are actually special messages that are being given
Yeah.
to you. Hmm.
Yes. And quiet time.
Quiet time. As
So
an
you could
introvert, you
receive
mentioned
it.
too. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. The quiet time. Yeah. Just taking
Yeah.
a break.
That's so important. That's so important. Yeah. And especially like as we talked about with the overstimulating environment of social media,
Hmm.
having that designated quiet time to check in with yourself because we're receiving so
Exactly.
many messages, right, of what other people are doing, what their lives are like. It's like really coming back into you, right, and the messages that
Exactly.
you're receiving. Hmm.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. I see a question. Let's see. Hello. Yes, Navon Shell. Yes. How can I find more information on what dreams mean? Because its true dreams have been defined as silly. Dream books are the equivalent of horoscope books in stores, at least. So, any information on how to like find the information to interpret dreams?
I started with dream books back in the days, just to interpret it, but I get what she's saying about it being like horoscope books because there's so many different meanings to a dream, and then you have to decipher like what does each dream mean. It's a lot with the dream books. I just start with that, but for me now it's just writing down the dream. I don't really interpret the dream anymore. I just go by
Hmm.
what I felt in the dream, that feeling that you had. So if it's fear, you fear something that was happening, then take note of that fear that happened in the dream. Or if you was happy, take note of the happiness. I really don't even look at the interpretations anymore. That was
Hmm.
a start for me though, but I don't do dream books anymore. I just kind of go based on how I felt in the dream.
Hmm.
That's
Hmm.
why it's important to write it down, and
Right.
especially write down your feelings, and then you can kind of interpret it yourself. Once you get more in tune with your intuition, you'll kind of be able to interpret it yourself. I mean, there are basic things in a dream that, like water, and the symbolism of water, but then you have to take that also with a grain of salt because there's so many different meanings for water. So
Hmm.
I guess you have to take how you felt, in the water. It could be so many things. So I don't really do dream
Hmm.
books anymore, but I mean, it's a good start just to get the basic symbolism.
Right. Right. And
Mhm.
I never heard that put that way before. Like the feeling that you had in the dream versus the actual object or things that were typically
Mhm.
taught to look
It's
for.
too
Like, what
much.
did the, yeah,
It's too
yeah.
much to keep up with. With the dream book, it's
Hmm.
just too much to keep up with. A fish means someone is pregnant and all this. It's too much. I don't go by that. I go by the feeling, and I look at the basic, like what stood out to me the most in the dream, and then I'll try to dissect how did I feel, when I encountered this portion of the dream. Based on that, I'll kind of go off of that, but I don't really do the books, not anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
That's very helpful. That's very helpful. Just Be in Me 57 says shadow work sounds like a cultural variation of parts work in a popular Western therapy model. I prefer this term because it feels less colonized. Yeah. Uh
Hmm.
huh. That's
Exactly.
true.
Yep.
Hmm.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's
because a
true.
lot of,
Very true.
yeah, revisiting childhood trauma, like I talk about on my channel a lot, that just that term can feel very heavy, right? But like
Hmm.
shadow work, like revisiting those parts that you've experienced along the way that now may be informing how you show
Hmm.
up, and having that
Yeah.
information. I think that's key.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I think once I started to kind of read up more on shadow work because I studied psychology like forever. So
Hmm.
once I read shadow work and I did see that it did kind of make it feel more like you're you're getting back to who you are, your inner self, as opposed to, Western therapy and the things that they have you do with that. But it's it feels more free, you know.
I agree. I agree. And Yvonne says, it's deconstructing your trauma, your fear, and limiting beliefs so you can heal from them. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And move forward.
And
That's
move forward.
and go forward.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Mukbang Muga. Yes. Hopefully we answered your question. Yes. Um, yeah, Sade says, I've noticed that I have the most clear, vivid dreams when things are calm and I'm more relaxed. But when things are busy and stressful, I don't remember my dreams at all.
Yeah,
Interesting.
this is true. That's true.
Mm.
I've noticed that too as well. When I have a lot going on, or I'll just have really random dreams that I can't even piece together. I can't even piece it together. So, yeah. But when I'm more relaxed and at peace, I do have more, clearer dreams that I can kind of interpret on my own.
Hmm. Hmm. And that just brings up like the whole setup of this society is to keep us busy, stressed, like unable to have time and space and energy
Hmm.
to relax our bodies and our minds so that we can receive
Yep. Keep
intuitive
us in a rat
guidance.
race.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Keep us in a rat race. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You
Absolutely.
know,
Mm-hmm. I do want to, let's see, read a couple more comments and then I'll just ask you about your personal journey of reconnecting with
mhm.
your intuition. Just being me says, yeah, Marissa, I see your interpretations and articulations. Thank you of concepts or of your guest perspectives. That's very intuitive. Thank you for that. I appreciate that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
And
love the way she interprets it too. Thank you.
yeah. Yes, thank you for that. And yeah, part of healing for me, like coming out of being socialized as a robot, which we often
Mhm.
are, right? To be very like rigid to structures and schedules. It's just me like going for it and trusting that spirit will guide me, that I'll receive the intuitive knowledge that I need at the time that I need it, and like taking my hand off of it. That's been part of healing for me.
Yeah,
Like it's handled.
yeah,
Like take your hand off of it
yeah,
and just like receive the message and the intuitive guidance that comes along the way and trust that it will be there. Because one of the parts of oppression
exactly.
is like to try to like convince us to fear a lot of these things that we have naturally, right? And who does that
Yeah,
benefit? Mm-hmm.
exactly, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Fear.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah. But yes, anything you'd like to share just around your personal journey of reconnecting to your intuition? We'd love to hear.
I think it's just been an ongoing life thing for me.
Yeah.
I feel like I've always kind of, because I'm introverted and I've always kind of self-reflected.
Yeah.
I've always been kind of connected, but I think over time, just, getting older and experiencing some things and, just, I guess, growing, you know, uh, I've been more connected with it, especially lately. Just slowing down, not running so much. But it's been a lifelong journey for me. I would say maybe about 10 years ago, I really got more connected with it. This is when I really started paying attention to things like astrology and numerology and meditating. Because, yeah, about 10 years ago, I started meditating. And yeah, and then, during, 2020,
Yeah.
just kind of getting thrown off track with that. And now circling back to meditating again and journaling again and things like that. It's been pretty much my journey. It's pretty
Yeah.
much
And I
my,
do want to ask you just about astrology and numerology for those who may not know kind of what clear understanding of what those things are. Anything you'd like to share around those?
So for me, just knowing your birth chart, just learning about your birth chart. Before, but astrology, I used to kind of just go by, the signs, the horoscope, and things like that. But once I found out that there was a whole planetary system that happened when I was born, which is a birth chart, it kind of I kind of started to pay attention because some of the things that I read about myself, there was just things that I didn't know why, as a a certain sign or zodiac sign, how come I don't act like this? They say, fire signs are supposed to be really fiery, and I'm like, I'm not fiery at all. Like I'm the total opposite. So I don't understand why, I'm getting this. But then once I read my birth chart and seen the the planetary placements, and just knowing what my moon sign is and my rising sign and things like that, it kind of made sense to me. Okay, this is why, I'm the way I am. And numerology just kind of gave me an idea of certain things. Like for me, I'm a life path 7. I don't know if anybody knows what that is, but you just add up the numbers of your birth year, your birth month, day, and year, and you just break it down as much as you can, and that number that you get is your life path number. That's just one aspect of numerology. And based on my life path number, because I've always been really interested in religion and spirituality, I found that I'm a life path 7, which is, spiritual. Like, you're into spiritual stuff, but I didn't know this before. So
Right.
it's just things like that. It just kind of, for me, gave me confirmation and clarity on who I was. And, this was early on in my journey. And for me, it's worked out a lot. I've been able to just, again, get clarity on a lot of choices or decisions I make going forward based on astrology and numerology. Like I won't say that I swear by it, but I do pay attention to it, and I think
Right.
it's beneficial. I think it can help. You know.
Hmm. I love that. Yeah, numerology is something I've only kind of dabbled in, so this is
Yeah.
helpful. Um,
Yeah.
and how those can kind of work together, too. It seems like. Hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep.
I do see a question from Yvonne saying, "Can she describe her meditation process for those who may have trouble doing it?"
Yeah, that's a hard thing to do. So initially, because I'm the type of person that just have a lot of thoughts in my mind, it's kind of hard for me. Although I don't verbalize my thoughts, I am thinking all the time. So one of the things with meditation is they say that you have to clear your mind. So for me, I learned that clearing my mind totally wasn't going to work. So usually my process is I like to meditate in the mornings. First thing in the morning, I'll get up and I'll meditate. I'll just start with some breathing in and out exercises and just paying attention to my breaths going in and out. Um, when I first started, I would set a timer because that kind of gives you, I guess, an idea of how long to meditate. You don't have to meditate for 30 minutes at a time. You can meditate for 5 minutes. You can meditate for a minute. It's just really focusing on the breaths and calming, not clearing, but calming your mind, you know. So once you get your mind calm, a lot of times for me, there might be something that comes to mind while you're trying to meditate. You might have a thought, but you just, pay attention to that thought briefly and then let it go because it's coming to you for a reason. Just, let that think of it and then just let it go. So, mostly, again, it's just getting up in the morning. I like to meditate in the mornings, paying attention to your breaths, breathe in slowly and then just let it out slowly and just hold it for a few seconds and then breathe in again. And, just not totally clearing your mind initially, just calming it and set that timer. a minute, 2 minutes, meditate for that long. And then you can gradually increase it, the better you get with it. So
Mm.
now, like if I'm going to meditate, I don't turn on the timer anymore. I'm going to meditate for 5 minutes. And most times without a timer, I meditate for exactly 5 minutes,
Wow.
or
Hmm.
I'm going to stay and meditate for 10, 15, like, so I know my body learned that's the time, how much time passed during meditation and out, so.
Hmm. Hmm. And I think that's so important that you can start with 5 minutes. Like you said, you can start with 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minutes. Because a lot of people feel like they have to have like an hour to just sit there in
No,
silence, which can be like, I'm not ready
that's
for
too
that.
much. That's too
Right. Take
much.
baby steps.
That's too much. Baby steps. Like set the timer for a
Yeah.
minute, 2 minutes. And say, I'm going to sit here and meditate and just calm yourself, breathe in and out, pay attention to your breaths. When you exhale through your mouth, and, just calm your mind. You can't clear it totally.
Hmm.
You have those thoughts. When the thought comes to you, just let it come and just, let it pass, and then just come back, center yourself, come back to the breathing in and out and calming yourself.
Right. I love that.
Mhm.
I do see a comment from I will saying, I'm hesitant to bring religion into the conversation, but it has been my experience that we are encouraged to not trust ourselves as a source of divine guidance. I agree with that. I agree with that.
Mhm.
And I don't know if you want to share anything around that.
Um, I really don't try to get into religion too much either, but
Yeah.
the way I look at it is, I mean, if you believe in God, then you believe that you have that I guess that power.
Hmm.
But yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Like the source energy.
God, yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, it's there for a reason.
Hmm. Hmm.
Praying, meditating, call it. It's just different terminology for it, but to me, it's the same.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. And I'll
Mhm.
say, like, even reading like the Healing Wisdom of Africa, which I've been reading as a recommendation for Coach Yolanda as well. But these are
Mhm.
practices that we had prior to colonization. And I think that's so
Mhm.
key to remember. Like, this is not coming out of thin air, this is not anything new. This is returning to the practices that we had to heal and reconnect with divine guidance prior to colonization,
Exactly.
right? It's reclaiming
Exactly.
ancestral practices. Hmm.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
What's the name of the book you said you were reading? I'm
The
sorry, I didn't
Healing
catch it.
Wisdom.
The
The
Healing
Healing Wisdom
Wisdom.
of Africa. Hmm.
Yeah, it's so true. Yeah, that's
Hmm.
the whole religion thing to me. I don't even know. Now I'm thinking it might be a sensitive topic for me because of what
Yeah.
you said, because I know that we were stripped of our religion. And I know that those were the practices, that this is how we healed and this is how we communicated,
Hmm.
before, our religion, yes, our religion was, it's not even religion, our practices were stripped from us. So, and then we were
Hmm.
forced into Christianity. But see, I don't want to get into it. I don't want to get
Yeah.
into
No
it.
pressure.
But
No
it's,
pressure.
but yes, yes,
Yeah.
that's even more reason for me to, you know, get centered and trust my intuition and know that we were given this gift for a reason. So,
Hmm. Hmm. Agreed. And Yvonne says, right, God is inside of us. So any religious practice that detaches from that is, yeah, yeah. And I think that's powerful energy that we can tap into, right?
mhm,
And I have a lot of thoughts, again, that I won't get into on this live, but it's like,
mhm,
who do these things benefit, right? A lot of these things went hand in hand with our ancestors being stolen from their
mhm,
homelands, right? A lot of these
mhm,
messages that we have received through generations. And so, like,
mhm.
many of us are on a path of reclaiming those
Yeah,
traditions that are
yeah,
thousands of years old, right?
exactly,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
It,
Yeah.
it was taken from us, and then it was told it was bad, and then in turn, now you have certain people that's doing those things that they said was bad. So I mean, it's just
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
100%. Yeah. And then selling it back to us. It's like, hold on. How- Hold up. How you going to steal it,
Exactly.
say it's
And it's
bad, and then
something.
sell it back?
Exactly. Exactly. So no, we're gonna take it back. Little by little.
Mm-hmm.
However we do it, we'll take
Mm-hmm.
it.
Mm-hmm. And Ayabo says exactly Africa and indigenous spirituality are great pathway from colonized religion. Yes, I agree with that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Thank you for this. Yes. And his late wife, yes. His late wife, excuse me, yes, Fu were great sources of wisdom. Yeah. 100%. 100%. Yes. Yeah, and I see a comment from Just Being Me. I've learned more about the Akan people, yes, and the importance of knowing our day of birth, as it is believed to be governed, interesting, by particular deities, which inform our personalities, propensity, and gifts. Wow. Thank you
Mm,
for sharing that. I didn't know that.
yeah. Me either. That's
Wow.
yeah. That's something new to me, and it is very interesting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And Shannon says, yes. Selling it backwards and upside down. That, right. Mm-hmm. Because it's never going to be right if you steal it, right?
Right. Right.
It's
Exactly.
never going to come out right.
Exactly. Hmm.
100%. I do want to talk about your coaching and the services that you offer, the clients you work with, and the issues that you help them work through with your coaching business.
Hmm. So again, so right now, since I've done the rebranding, I'm working with people that just need guidance in the choices that they're making in life. So clients that need to find balance and just reconnect with their inner selves. Um, I'm doing it through astrology, numerology, and if people are into it, tarot. I'm using tarot as just clarification and confirmation of those feelings and guidance. Yeah, I'm working with people that need shadow work done, people that are having uh, a hard time making like life transitions, such as like careers or relocating or just finding just purpose and direction. Releasing limiting beliefs and just trying to develop their intuition. So
Mm,
yeah, so my
mhm,
services right now, if you feel like you're someone that's like, you might want to relocate somewhere and you don't know if this is the right place for you, I can do like a birth chart just to give you an
ah,
idea of based on your planetary placements, what, area would be the best place for you, when would be the best time for you. And if you're into tarot, I can pull a few cards and let you know,
mm,
what path you should take or what path, because most times people know what they want to do, but it's just that confirmation, that you need. So
right.
yeah, those are the things I'm doing now.
Hmm, I love that. Yes. And I included Atia's website here if y'all are interested in those services. I do want to talk about the mindset blocks that people may have maybe before they come to you. Some of these
Hmm.
things can be still taboo to even talk about.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
like, how do you help people work through that and realize the power that exists within them?
Hmm. So basically, I would start with the shadow work just to find out if there's
Mm,
any hidden traumas or wounds that they need to heal first. And then just do an assessment of what it is that they want, in life, and then just guide them on that journey. And again, if it's through astrology, we do it through astrology. Um, or we just do it, if you want to do numerology, tarot, however you want to do it. But it's just basically guiding because most people already know what it is that they want to do. They just need that extra motivation to do it and just the steps on how to do it. So I would help with things like that. Just help find balance, you know.
right.
So yeah.
And I think that's so important to start with shadow work, as you
Mm-hmm.
mentioned, because a lot of these things, again, are operating underneath the surface and we're not even aware of it. So being able
Mm-hmm.
to like remind yourself, what have you been through? What have you experienced? And how is
Mm-hmm.
that now informing how you're showing up? Right? That's a sense of
Exactly.
power to take back over your life. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. I do see a comment from Yvonne, Ife, Santeria, etc. What our ancestors practiced, slavery stripped us of those beliefs. 100%. Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I agree. And
And I
there's
think
just so
that's,
many
mm-hmm.
different ways that we express ourselves. So yeah, but those are a
Mm-hmm.
few. Ife, Santeria.
Yeah. And I think that's so important to reclaim, right? Sankofa,
Mm-hmm.
like go back in to the past, reclaim what was
Mm-hmm.
lost, and bring it forward to inform the path that you're going in the future.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
because we've been disconnected from our history for so long, it can feel like, where am I going? I have no idea, like, where I'm rooted. And so being
Mm-hmm.
able to, like, take back that history for yourself
Mm-hmm.
and the ancestral knowledge that still exists within inside you to heal and reconnect with your intuition,
Exactly.
that can be a source of
Exactly.
immense power. Hmm.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah.
I want to ask you about community,
Mm-hmm.
the power of community in reconnecting with our intuitions, and
Mm-hmm.
not feeling like we have to navigate this alone, because this can be a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I think YouTube is already always a great, great community. You can find a lot of like-minded people on YouTube.
Yeah.
Facebook, join some groups. That was
Yeah.
something that I started doing maybe a couple of years ago. Just joining some Facebook groups because I'm like, I know I'm not the only person that feels the way I feel. So, join some Facebook groups. You know, just finding retreats, maybe, just to kind of find people that, have the same uh, thoughts that you have. So, yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's been huge. YouTube has been just completely life changing to be able to be in community, especially with other Black women creators who are delving into topics that I've thought about for so long, but no one had been making content about them. And now it's like,
Yes.
I feel like it's a whole streaming service, right? You just pop on YouTube, it's like alive on this topic,
Yeah.
all to like get free. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. It's all free. Exactly. Yeah, I don't even
Yeah.
watch TV. I just
I
go to
know, I don't
YouTube.
either.
YouTube.
I don't
So
either.
true. It's so
No.
true.
And there's always like a live stream happening. Maybe something I
Hmm.
haven't even thought about before that somebody will be doing. I'm like, okay, that gives me more
Yeah.
understanding of like how this system operates, how I can get free of this idea and belief that no longer serves me. It's like, this is a
Hmm.
movement. Mm-hmm.
It is. It is.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's I basically started on YouTube many years ago. So yeah, just finding people. I guess the first community would have been the natural hair community.
Yeah.
Finding the actually
Mm-hmm.
once I got to that, and it started just kind of like just grew. The
Mm-hmm.
spirituality thing, that was a big thing. That actually was YouTube was the one place that I could go to, knowing that there were people like me that thought the way I thought. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I had friends at the time that definitely wasn't thinking the way I think.
Right.
So yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I think for a lot of us who are truth tellers, who see things in
Mm,
society that are operating that we know are not right, right? And a lot of
yeah,
us are tapped into our intuitions as well when the people around us may not be at that level of their journey.
exactly,
So to be able
exactly.
to be in community, right, with people who are like, no,
Mhm.
there's nothing wrong with you. You just have
Yeah,
gifts.
exactly. Yep,
You're just
yep.
gifted. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. As we all are. Yep.
So true. Yeah. Just
Um,
even now with the whole with the movement, going abroad, moving abroad, and the entrepreneurships and things like that, it's just a whole different, area. Like now when when I talk to people, I'm like, yeah, eventually I plan on leaving the US. They're like, what? And do what? Like, how you gonna, how you, where you going? Like, and traveling alone. Met a lot of people that
mhm.
solo travelers, and yeah.
Ooh. And it makes you feel like it gives you that sense of like affirmation when you see other
Mhm.
people like laying out their journey, how they got to where they got to, sharing resources along the way.
Yeah,
It's like, okay,
yeah,
I'm not alone in feeling this. And I also have a path
exactly.
forward that has been laid out for me by Black women YouTube creators, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
Because I'm actually thinking back. I'm thinking like the major shifts that I've made in life actually have come from YouTube because the natural hair.
Yes.
Like I started feeling like I
Hmm.
wanted to go natural, and then I found this whole natural hair movement on YouTube like 2008. I was like, oh, okay, so this is what's happening now. And then it was a spiritual thing, it's like, okay, the practices and the things that I've been seeing throughout life, other people have been
Right.
seeing it and doing it too. And now it's the, moving abroad and, starting your own business and things like that and quitting the job thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. like, I'm like, yeah, I've been feeling this way for a long time. I didn't know there was other people that felt the same way that I did. I knew it
Hmm.
was time for me to start making moves, and I didn't want to live that stressful 9 to 5 life.
Right.
And then when I would talk to people, friends about it, they're like, well, that's what we do. We work, right? We work, we get that money. Like, yeah. So actually seeing people, that's want to live the way I want to live is another movement. So
Hmm.
yeah.
Hmm. And it can be hard when you're feeling the need to resist against these systems, because I feel like a lot of us also have a spirit of resistance just against what we
Mhm.
see day to day. And so
Yeah.
to be able to be plugged into other people who are doing the same thing, reminding you that you're not losing your mind, right? That you're
Mhm.
just able to see things that other people are not. And that is to be
Exactly.
treasured. Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's another step to intuition.
Mm. Mm-hmm. That's
Yeah.
very true. It's very true.
Yeah.
I see a comment from iAbode saying, Spirit Speaks to Sisters. Okay, by June Gatlin is a great resource as well. Thank you for that. I
Okay.
love book
Writing that down.
recommendations. Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
I see a comment too. Alice Walker said back in the 80s, a pressed hair puts a ceiling on the brain. Interesting.
Okay.
Wow.
It's very interesting.
Yes,
It is true. It's so true.
it is. I'm 70 years young and stopped oppressing my hair in my 30s. Wow. Thank you for sharing that with us. Wow. Yes.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. So agreed. Yeah. And I think I feel the same way just about any major life transition that I've made as I kind of reflect right here. It has been YouTube, it has been Black women YouTubers.
Yeah, but it all starts with us looking for people that we could relate to, and that's going on the same journey as we are. Like for me, it was like
Mhm.
I know that the things that I'm thinking, the way I want to live is not what my immediate circle is
Right.
doing, or even what Imagine doing. So yeah, YouTube has been, because after I went natural, everybody went natural. At first they were like, well, what are you gonna do with your hair if you're not relaxing it? I was like, just wear it natural, like. And then right after that,
Hmm.
one after the other started going. I thought, you know, it's just how it is, I guess.
Yeah. Yep. And sometimes when you're a truth teller, you start things or you can see things before other people can. So it can feel like you're out
Mhm.
there by yourself, and then people start getting what you're doing.
Yeah,
Right? It takes them
yeah.
some time. Mm-hmm.
Start catching on.
Yep.
Exactly.
That's so true. Sade says, I love that. Yes. Yes. Black women YouTubers. But yes, as we're winding down tonight, I want to ask any parting words you'd like to share about the power of intuition and the role it can play in healing.
Um, just I mean, it was given to us for a reason, and we should pay attention to it. Whether it's a God given gift or however you want to connect to it, it's given to us, and we should just pay attention to it. So yeah,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
journal,
It was given.
meditate, quiet your mind,
Mm-hmm.
reconnect.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Journal, meditating, yes. Quiet your mind. Hey, Alicia,
Quiet your
yes.
mind.
Yes.
Yes, very
That's so
important.
powerful.
It,
Okay.
it's life. It could be life changing.
It can be. Yeah, to be
Mhm.
able to unplug from kind of like the matrix that a lot of us are
Yeah.
in, just day to day, right? Very robotic. Again, these
Yes.
systems force us to be. And so to like take that plug out and plug it back into source to connect with your intuition and the power that it holds, I feel like
Mhm.
that can be huge in determining your
Mhm.
path forward. Hmm.
And
Yeah.
then a lot of times too, when you ignore it, there's always something that's going to bring you back to it. There's some kind of way that you'll be brought back to, uh, you know, just like you said, the matrix or just your intuition, you know, like there's
Mm-hmm.
always something that's going to kind of give you that segue that, you know, this is the way that you're supposed to go,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you know.
Mm-hmm. And that really speaks to trust, right?
Hmm.
Trust, which is something, again, in this fear based society, we're told not to do, to trust what's to come. And so we put all this
Hmm.
fear on that, which leads us
Exactly.
to feel like we're stuck in a lot of the places that we are.
Exactly.
But yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
When
tapping
it's meant to be,
into,
it's meant to be.
mm-hmm,
And
tapping
it'll
into that,
happen.
yeah, inherent power of
Yeah.
intuition
Exactly.
to guide you. I love that. But yes, y'all, I want to thank y'all for being here. Thank you to Atiya for being a lovely guest tonight.
Thank you. Thank you
Um,
for having me
of course, of course.
so
Please
much.
subscribe to her YouTube channel here, Black Bohemian Soul. Follow her on Instagram, Black Bohemian Soul. Um, Here's her website as well, which is also linked in the description section.
Mhm.
And yes, I will be hosting a masterclass with Dr. Kamani on the 20th and 27th, how to leave a toxic job and then how to heal from the aftermath if you're interested. You can find the post on my community tab to register, and also be going live tomorrow with two of the guest speakers from the masterclass, Latrice Burks Palmerio and Patrice Lindo. So look out for that tomorrow. But yeah, until next time, y'all. Thank you for being here.
Thank
Appreciate y'all.
you.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Tia.
everyone. Bye. Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.